Humans infiltrating the alien high command in the silent darkness of space. A small human shuttle drifted toward the massive alien flagship. The ship was black as night, with glowing blue lines running across its body like veins. Inside the shuttle, Captain Ryan Cole sat in his seat, breathing slowly, feeling the vibration of the engines under his boots. This was the most dangerous mission ever attempted by humanity. And it did not officially exist. Ryan turned to his team of 3, Lieutenant Aria Gray, tech expert Mason Ward, and medic Kyle Reyes. All wore dark armor with alien-like helmets, their faces hidden, their voices changed by translators to sound like the aliens they were about to imitate. Ryan said quietly, "Once we go in, there is no turning back, remember." "This mission never happened." Aria nodded, her eyes cold and focused. "Understood?" "Captain, their target was the Zereth High Command, the most powerful alien military council in the galaxy. The Zereth Empire had destroyed half of Earth's colonies and now prepared to strike the planet itself. The humans' mission was simple but suicidal: infiltrate the High Command and steal the war plans before the next attack began." The shuttle approached the alien docking bay, hidden by a cloaking field powered by stolen Zereth technology. Ryan's hands moved carefully over the controls, matching the alien signal codes. For one long moment, the ship's scanner passed over them. Then, the docking lights turned green. They had been accepted as one of the Zereth ships returning from patrol. When the doors opened, the humans stepped into a world that felt alive. The corridors pulsed with light. The walls seemed to breathe like living tissue. Tall alien guards with silver armor walked past them, their glowing eyes scanning everything. Ryan forced himself to walk calmly, repeating in his mind, "I am one of them. I belong here. Their disguise worked for now." They followed the navigation map Aria had downloaded from the stolen Zereth database. Their goal was deep inside the ship, the command core, where all battle communications were controlled. The air smelled strange, metallic, and cold, and a low hum filled the corridor like a heartbeat. Mason whispered through the comms, "This place feels alive." "Captain," Ryan replied softly, "focus. We get the data and we leave." But as they turned a corner, they froze. 2 Zereth officers were speaking near a holographic screen. Ryan understood bits of their language through the translator. The aliens were talking about a traitor inside the command, someone who had been sending information to the humans. Aria looked at Ryan sharply. "A traitor? That means there's already someone here," Ryan frowned. "Or it's a trap," they continued deeper, using maintenance tunnels to avoid patrols. Aria hacked into the security grid and disabled camera nodes one by one. Kyle monitored life signs, whispering that the ship held over 10,000 Zereth soldiers. Ryan's heart pounded. One mistake, and they would all die instantly. After hours of sneaking through the strange glowing corridors, they finally reached a massive circular chamber, the command core. In the center hovered a giant crystal sphere, surrounded by streams of blue light. Every Zereth ship in the fleet was linked to it. Destroying or stealing it could cripple their empire. Mason started downloading the data, his hands shaking slightly as alien symbols flashed across his screen. Ryan stood guard, eyes scanning every movement. Then, a shadow appeared behind him. An alien officer had entered silently, his silver armor reflecting the glowing lights. The officer's cold eyes stared directly at Ryan. He spoke in the Zereth language, and the translator whispered the words in Ryan's ear. "You, officer, you do not belong here, do you?" Ryan froze. His mind raced. Was the disguise failing? Did they find out? Before he could respond, the entire room turned red. Loud alarms blared through the corridors. Echoing like thunder, Mason shouted, "They've detected us." Aria pulled out her blaster and fired at the security drones dropping from the ceiling. Ryan grabbed the data drive and shouted, "Fall back! Now!" They ran through the tunnels as the walls shook with energy pulses. Alien soldiers swarmed behind them, firing glowing projectiles that burned through metal. Kyle threw smoke grenades, filling the halls with thick gray mist. Ryan guided the team through the maintenance shafts, jumping over moving cables that sparked like lightning. Their communicator crackled with alien voices, searching for intruders disguised as officers. They reached a side bay where their escape pod was hidden. But as Ryan turned to open it, Arya pointed her gun at him. "Wait, Captain," she said, her voice trembling. "Before we leave, you need to see this." She opened her datapad and showed a message that had just appeared on her screen. It was a transmission from Earth Command, but encrypted with a Zereth code. The message said, "Mission compromised. Do not trust anyone. There is a double agent among you." Ryan looked at her in disbelief. "Who sent this?" he asked, Arya's eyes filled with confusion and fear. "I don't know," she whispered. "But it came through your channel." Before Ryan could answer, the door behind them exploded. An alien soldier stormed in. Ryan and Arya fired back, the sound of energy blasts filling the chamber. Mason shouted, "Go! The shuttle's ready." Ryan covered Arya as she jumped into the pod, then dove in right after her. The pod launched just as the alien soldiers fired a barrage of plasma bolts. It spun into space, fire trailing behind it as the alien flagship roared with sirens. Inside the pod, Ryan clutched the data drive tightly. Breathing heavily, he looked at Arya, who avoided his eyes. In his mind, only one question echoed: if this mission never existed, why did the aliens already know he was coming? The escape pod drifted silently through the black void of space. Inside, Ryan Cole sat hunched over, the data drive clutched tightly against his chest. Arya Gray leaned against the wall, her armor scorched and smoking from the blast. Mason and Kyle checked the pod's systems. Their faces pale, eyes wide with fear. Ryan's mind raced, replaying every moment in the alien flagship. The warning from Earth Command burned in his memory. There is a double agent among you. He could not shake the thought. Someone on their team had betrayed them, but who? Arya broke the silence, her voice low and tense. "Captain, we are not safe yet." Ryan turned to her, noticing the faint tremor in her hands. "I know, Arya, but we cannot afford mistakes now." Mason suddenly froze, staring at the monitor. "Wait. Captain, sensors are picking up a signal from inside the ship." The pod's alarm blared as an unknown code flashed across the screen. It was alien, but somehow familiar, almost like someone had hacked into it from the inside. Ryan narrowed his eyes. That is no ordinary signal. Someone is tracking us. Someone knows we escaped. Kyle swallowed hard. Could it be the double agent? Ryan's jaw tightened. Yes, and we need to find out who before it's too late. The pod drifted closer to a hidden asteroid. Their temporary safe house. Ryan had chosen this place because it was untraceable. A small cave on the asteroid's dark side. They landed silently, the pod's engines barely making a sound. Inside the cave, Ryan spread the data drive on a metal table, its blue glow illuminating the anxious faces of the team. He began scanning the files, looking for patterns. Anything that could reveal the Zereth's next move. Arya hovered behind him, her eyes scanning the shadows. "Captain, something doesn't feel right. I can sense it." Ryan paused. "You mean the traitor, don't you?" Arya nodded. "Yes, but I don't know who it is." Hours passed, tension building with every moment. Every sound outside the cave made them jump, the silence heavier than the darkness itself. Finally, Mason pointed at the screen. "Captain, look at this. Someone has already accessed our transmissions. They are inside our comms." Ryan's heart sank. "That means the double agent is not just here. They are closer than we think." Kyle whispered. Could it be Arya? Ryan turned to her sharply, suspicion flashing in his eyes. Arya flinched, but did not speak. Her hands tightening around her weapon, Ryan clenched his fists. I need to know if I can trust you. She looked down. Ryan. I would never betray you, I swear. But the tension remained, thick like smoke in the cave. That night, Ryan could not sleep. He patrolled the cave alone, checking sensors and monitoring every communication. Then he noticed something strange, a faint energy signature moving outside. But it did not match the pod or their equipment. He grabbed his rifle and moved quietly toward the source. Through the shadows, he saw a figure. Arya? No, something was off. The figure had the same height, the same armor, but its movements were sharper, more precise, almost unnatural. Ryan's pulse raced. Who is this? He whispered. Before he could act, the figure vanished into the darkness, leaving behind only a trail of alien energy residue. He ran back to the cave, heart pounding, to warn the others. Arya was already waiting, her face pale, eyes wide. Captain. I saw it too, she said, voice shaking. Ryan froze. Saw what? She shook her head. A shadow, like a mirror of me, but it wasn't me. It moved like it was watching us. Testing us, Ryan realized the truth, his stomach twisting. The Zereth had a spy on their team, not human, not fully alien, something they had never seen before, something created in secret by the High Command. The double agent was among them, invisible, deadly, and waiting for the right moment. Days passed as Ryan, Arya, Mason, and Kyle tried to move silently across the asteroid field. Every small noise made them freeze. Every signal spike set their nerves on fire. Ryan kept glancing at Arya, struggling with the doubt planted by Earth Command's warning. He wanted to believe her, but trust was a dangerous luxury in this mission. One night, while monitoring the data drive, Ryan noticed a pattern, a series of encrypted messages hidden in the Zereth war plans. The messages were subtle, almost invisible, but Ryan's keen eyes caught them. They revealed a plan to sabotage human ships during their next encounter, and someone inside their own team was feeding the Zereth information. Ryan gathered the team, whispering urgently, "Listen carefully. One of us has been giving the aliens information. We do not know who. It could be any of us even now." Mason paled. "But how do we find them?" Ryan looked at Arya, then Kyle, then Mason. "We have to set a trap and watch every move, because the spy will make their next move soon, and it may cost us all our lives." Hours later, the spy finally revealed itself. A shadowy figure moved through the cave, unseen but present. It mimicked Arya's movements perfectly. Even breathing like her, Ryan aimed his rifle, hands shaking. "Show yourself, whoever you are." "The mission never fails." The shadow paused, then vanished, leaving behind a strange metallic device. Humming with energy, Arya picked it up cautiously. "It's a tracking device. Someone has been following us all this time." Ryan felt a cold chill down his spine. The realization hit him. The double agent was no ordinary enemy. It was something far more dangerous, designed to deceive, infiltrate, and destroy from within. He looked at his team, determination burning in his eyes. "We survive this, and we find out who is really betraying us, no matter what it takes." Outside the cave, the stars shone cold and distant. The humans were alone, surrounded by enemies they could not see, and in the shadows, the spy watched, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The human team drifted silently in the asteroid field, their escape pod barely visible against the black void of space. Ryan Cole studied the data drive, scanning the encrypted Zereth files. He felt a cold unease settle in his chest. The files hinted at a plan far more terrifying than they had imagined. A plan that could wipe out Earth entirely. Arya leaned against the wall, checking her weapons. "Captain, the Zirith are stronger than ever. We cannot underestimate them." Ryan nodded. "I know, Arya, but we need information. That's the only way to survive." Mason tapped the screen nervously. "Captain, there is a hidden path in the data, leading directly to the High Command, but it's heavily guarded." Ryan's eyes narrowed. "That's our only chance to stop them. We go inside, we learn their secrets, and we come back alive. Or die trying." They approached the massive alien command ship, the Zirith flagship, bigger than anything humanity had ever seen. It floated like a living fortress, its surface pulsing with energy, and massive cannons tracking every movement in space. The humans' cloaked shuttle glided silently toward a hidden docking bay. Their hearts pounding in unison inside, the corridors of the ship seemed alive. Glowing with alien energy, the air was thick and heavy, and a low hum vibrated through the walls like the heartbeat of a monster. Ryan led the team cautiously, every step calculated, every breath controlled. He whispered, "Keep your heads down. Watch every shadow. Someone is watching us right now." They passed alien officers in silver armor, their eyes glowing like molten metal. The Zirith spoke in harsh, guttural tones, unfamiliar yet strangely melodic. Ryan's translator converted the language, but he still sensed the cold intelligence behind every word. Every officer seemed to scan him, as if the High Command knew exactly who he was. Even though they had not met yet, finally, they reached a massive chamber, a dome filled with thousands of Zirith soldiers. In the center hovered a holographic map of the galaxy, its lights flickering over hundreds of planets. Ryan realized with horror, this was the High Command in session, planning the destruction of Earth. Every move of their fleet, every weapon, every strike was displayed in glowing symbols. A tall alien, silver-eyed and regal, stepped forward. Ryan froze, hiding behind a pillar. This was the High Commander, a creature of legend, feared by every species in the galaxy. The commander spoke, and the room fell silent. His voice cold and commanding. "All units report the humans have fled once, but they cannot escape twice." Ryan's stomach twisted. He realized the Zirith were not just aware of human activity. They were anticipating it. Every action they took seemed pre-planned, as if the High Commander had been expecting them. He turned to Arya, whispering, "This was a trap. From the start, the High Command knows everything about us." Arya's eyes widened. "Then, how do we survive?" Ryan scanned the chamber, noticing a holographic crystal glowing faintly in a corner. It was smaller than the main map, but pulsated with hidden energy. He edged closer, pretending to be one of the Zirith officers. The hologram revealed a secret file labeled, "Human Collaborators." Ryan froze. Humans were working with the Zirith inside the High Command. Humans helping plan Earth's destruction before he could react. The High Commander's eyes swept the room, and then stopped on Ryan. Ryan froze. Pretending to adjust his uniform, the commander tilted his head, a faint smile playing across his face. "Ah, a familiar presence," he said, his voice echoing like steel. Ryan's heart skipped, the translator barely keeping up. Who could the commander mean? Arya nudged him, whispering, "Captain, stay calm, blend in." Ryan nodded, forcing a calm exterior, but inside, panic surged. The holographic map shifted, displaying a new projection, and Ryan's eyes widened. In the projection was a human scientist, Dr. Marcus Hawley, Ryan's mentor. Thought dead for years, Marcus moved among the Zirith leaders. Speaking freely as if he belonged there, Ryan's mind raced. Marcus, alive and working with the aliens? Arya whispered, "Why would he do this?" Ryan clenched his fists. To betray humanity, He must know we are here. He must be the one controlling the spy. Suddenly, a signal appeared on their encrypted channel. It was Earth Command, warning them to retreat immediately. But Ryan ignored it. No, Arya, we need answers. The mission is not over yet. They moved deeper into the chamber, staying in shadows, observing the High Command. Every word, every movement, every flicker of the holographic map could be crucial. The High Commander spoke again, his voice slicing through the air. We will cleanse the human colonies, prepare the fleet. The time has come. Marcus Halai nodded, stepping closer to a console, inputting coordinates. Ryan realized with horror, the next attack would destroy a colony they had just saved weeks ago. He had to act, but the entire chamber was alive with alien eyes, watching for any sign of betrayal. Then the High Commander paused. Looking directly at Ryan, Ryan froze, feeling the weight of thousands of eyes. The commander's voice was calm, but terrifying. Do you wish to speak, human? Ryan's mind raced, searching for a lie, a distraction, anything to survive. He swallowed hard. I am here to serve. My orders are to observe only. The commander tilted his head, then motioned to Marcus. Marcus smiled faintly, a knowing smile, and spoke, Welcome back, Captain Cole. Ryan's blood ran cold. The words were familiar, too familiar. Why would Marcus know me? Suddenly, alarms blared across the chamber. Red lights flashing, the doors slammed shut, sealing the humans inside the High Command. Ryan realized their presence was no longer secret. They had been discovered, and now survival depended on their next move. And in the shadows, a spy watched, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The red lights flashed across the High Command chamber as alarms echoed like thunder. Ryan Cole's heart pounded in his chest, each beat louder than the last. He glanced at Arya Gray, who was crouched low behind a console, her weapon ready, eyes scanning every movement. Mason and Kyle were frozen for a moment, fear written across their faces. But Ryan's gaze stayed on one thing, Marcus Hall. His former mentor. Marcus moved calmly through the chaos, his face serene, untouched by the flashing lights. He tapped on consoles, redirecting energy streams and security drones. It was clear. Marcus was not just a participant in the High Command, he was in control. Ryan's stomach twisted, betrayal burning deep in his chest. How could the man who taught him everything about strategy, science, and trust now be orchestrating the destruction of humanity? Arya whispered urgently, Captain, we have to move. The data drive is still with us. We can't let them find it. Ryan nodded. Taking a deep breath, we go for the inner vault. That's where all the war plans are stored. But we need a plan, or we're dead. The team moved cautiously, slipping past patrolling alien officers and security drones. Every step brought them closer to the vault, and closer to danger they could not yet see. As they neared the inner chamber, Ryan noticed strange markings on the walls, glowing faintly in alien symbols. They weren't part of the standard High Command decor. Arya scanned them with her device. These are codes, Captain. They're instructions, but in a language we don't understand. Ryan frowned. Then we need to figure it out fast, before Marcus realizes we are here. Suddenly, Mason gasped, pointing at a console. Captain, look. Someone is accessing our transmissions again. Ryan's heart sank. It's the spy. It's tracking us from the inside. Kyle's hands shook as he added, Captain, I think it's not human, not fully alien either, something different. The team entered the inner vault, a circular room filled with holographic projections of fleets, weapons, and alien strategies. At the center hovered a glowing cube, pulsing like a heartbeat. Ryan recognized it immediately. The war plans for Earth's destruction were stored inside. As Mason began to extract the data, Ryan kept watch, every nerve alert, every sound amplified in his ears. Then, a voice echoed through the chamber, chilling and familiar. "Captain Cole." "I was hoping we'd meet again." Ryan turned sharply, and there was Marcus, stepping out from the shadows, his face calm, eyes gleaming with a strange excitement. Ryan gritted his teeth. "Marcus, why are you doing this?" Marcus smiled faintly. "You taught me to think beyond loyalty, beyond fear. Humanity is weak, Captain, always has been. The future belongs to those who evolve. And I am building it, one hybrid at a time." Ryan's blood ran cold. "Hybrid? You mean humans like us?" Marcus nodded. "Yes, part human, part Zereth. The perfect soldiers, the perfect minds. Stronger, smarter, and loyal to me. Not to some fragile species called humanity." Arya tightened her grip on her weapon, whispering, "Captain, we can't let this happen. Not now. Not ever." Ryan's mind raced, trying to find a way out. He realized that the spy, the tracking device, the High Command surveillance, everything was part of Marcus's plan. They had been manipulated from the start. Every move anticipated, every step calculated. Suddenly, the doors slammed shut behind them, locking the humans inside. Security drones dropped from the ceiling. Glowing energy blades spinning. Marcus raised a hand, and the drones paused, circling the team, waiting. "You see, Captain, you are trapped. The only way out is to join me, or be destroyed like all the others." Ryan glanced at Arya, Mason, and Kyle, determination burning in his eyes. "No, Marcus, we will never join you. Humanity fights for its survival, and we are its last hope." Marcus's eyes narrowed, a faint smile on his lips. "Then witness the power of evolution and the futility of your resistance." He pressed a command on his console, and a hidden chamber opened. Inside were humans, soldiers, scientists, civilians, all restrained and connected to strange glowing machines. Ryan's stomach churned, horror striking deep. Marcus had been converting humans into hybrids for months, maybe years. The screams of the first test subjects echoed through the vault. Their eyes glowed silver, their bodies twitching as the alien serum changed them. Arya whispered, "Captain, we have to stop this before they finish the next batch." Ryan nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility crushing him. He devised a quick plan. Mason would plant a virus in the main console. Arya would cover them. Kyle would free the restrained humans. And Ryan would confront Marcus. The virus was their only chance to destroy the hybrid program, and possibly cripple the High Command from within. As Mason connected the data drive to the console, alarms blared louder. The spy emerged from the shadows. Moving faster than any human could, Ryan realized with horror that the spy was a hybrid. A perfect combination of human cunning and Zereth strength. It lunged at them, and a battle erupted. Sparks and energy blasts filling the chamber. Arya fired, striking the hybrid. But it was relentless, adapting to every attack. Ryan dove at Marcus, grabbing his arm, trying to wrestle control of the console. Marcus laughed, cold and sharp. "You cannot stop evolution, Captain." "You are too late," Mason yelled. "Virus is uploaded." The chamber trembled. The holographic projections flickered and died. Alarms turned to chaos as systems began to fail. The virus had begun to destroy the High Command's data. And with it, Marcus's plans. Arya and Kyle freed the humans. Guiding them to a small escape tunnel, Ryan faced Marcus one last time. Eyes locked, the mentor and student, enemy and ally. Staring across the collapsing chamber, Marcus's smile faded as the virus consumed his control systems. "You may have won this battle, Captain, but evolution cannot be stopped," he whispered, before vanishing into the chaos. The team escaped through the tunnels as explosions rocked the ship. The High Command's inner sanctum collapsed, fire and sparks raining down like meteor showers. Ryan held the data drive tightly, breathing heavily. Looking at his team, they had survived. But the battle had only just begun. Somewhere out there, Marcus and the hybrids still lived, and the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The escape tunnel led the team into the dark heart of the alien ship. Ryan Cole's heart pounded as he held the data drive close. The knowledge of Marcus Hale's betrayal burning in his mind, Aria Gray moved silently beside him, her blaster ready, eyes scanning every shadow. Mason and Kyle followed, nerves stretched thin, muscles tight with tension. They reached a massive, hidden laboratory deep within the ship, a place even the High Command rarely entered. The walls were lined with glass chambers, each filled with humans in restraints, their eyes glowing silver, bodies twitching under the influence of strange glowing machines. Ryan froze, horror rising like fire in his chest. He recognized some of the soldiers, missing teams, Earth scientists, even civilians who had been abducted in previous raids. Aria whispered, "Captain, this is what Marcus has been building. These aren't just experiments. These are soldiers. Hybrids." Ryan swallowed hard. Stronger than aliens, smarter than humans, and loyal only to him. The air was thick with energy, a low hum vibrating through the floor. Every chamber pulsed as the serum altered human bodies, fusing alien DNA with human cells, creating perfect killing machines. Suddenly, one of the hybrids stirred violently, its restraints cracking under its strength. It opened its eyes, silver and glowing like molten metal, and stared directly at Ryan. The creature's voice echoed in a distorted whisper. "You shouldn't be here," Aria fired, energy bolts striking the hybrid. But it shrugged off the attack effortlessly. Ryan realized instantly, Marcus's hybrids were not only strong, but intelligent, learning from every encounter. Mason tapped at the console furiously. "Captain, I can hack into the life support grid. I can short-circuit the chambers. But it will take time." Ryan nodded. "Do it." "I'll hold them off." Aria took a deep breath, firing at incoming drones and hybrids, moving with precision and skill. Kyle freed a group of restrained humans, guiding them toward a small escape hatch. As Mason worked, the alarms blared louder, red lights flashing across the laboratory. The High Command must have realized someone had infiltrated the lab. Through the glass, Ryan saw Marcus appear on the catwalk above them, calm and composed, his eyes glinting with cruel amusement. "You're brave to come this far, Captain." "But bravery without power is nothing," Marcus called, his voice carrying effortlessly through the lab. Ryan clenched his fists. "This ends now, Marcus. No more hybrids. No more death." Marcus tilted his head. "You think you can stop evolution? You are naive, Ryan. The hybrids are my army, and soon the galaxy will follow them." Ryan knew he had no time, no room for hesitation. He gestured to Mason, who nodded and pressed the final command. Energy surged through the laboratory. Sparks flying, alarms screaming. The hybrid chambers began to fail, energy shields collapsing one by one. Some of the hybrids stirred violently, others froze. Caught between the human and alien DNA, Marcus shouted in fury, slamming the catwalk console. "Stop them! Stop them now!" Ryan and Aria fought side by side, moving through chaos, clearing a path for the freed humans. Kyle guided the last group of civilians to the escape hatch, sweat and blood streaking his face. Suddenly, one hybrid broke free entirely. Charging at Ryan with impossible speed, Ryan ducked and rolled, firing his blaster as the creature barreled past. It slammed into a wall, shattering glass and metal, then rose, unhurt, eyes glowing brighter. Ryan realized they had underestimated Marcus's creation. These hybrids were not just soldiers, they were predators. Arya aimed carefully and fired multiple energy bolts, striking the hybrid, but it adapted instantly. Dodging each attack, Ryan knew they needed to escape now or die trying. He grabbed Mason, running through the collapsing corridors, sparks flying around them. The entire laboratory trembled as the virus Mason had uploaded destabilized the ship's systems. As they neared the main escape tunnel, Marcus appeared once more, blocking their path. "Do you really think a virus can stop me?" he asked, calm and terrifying. Ryan stared him down. "We don't have to stop you, Marcus. We just have to survive and warn Earth." Marcus smiled faintly, almost proud. "Then run, Captain. Run while you still can." Ryan, Arya, Mason, and Kyle sprinted through the tunnel as explosions rocked the ship. The air filled with smoke and fire. Behind them, hybrids screamed, energy surging through their broken bodies. The virus spread rapidly, shutting down the high command systems, destroying research and crippling Marcus's plans. Ryan felt a brief flicker of hope, but he knew Marcus was not gone, and the hybrids might still exist. The team reached the hidden shuttle bay. Breathless and battered, they boarded the ship, Ryan holding the data drive tightly. Arya manned the controls, Mason and Kyle keeping watch. The escape pod launched just as the laboratory exploded, the shock wave throwing them into open space. Ryan looked back at the burning laboratory, the screams of hybrids echoing faintly in the void. Arya placed a hand on his shoulder. "We stopped them." "For now," she whispered. Ryan's eyes were dark, his mind racing. "No, we only delayed them. Arya, Marcus will return, and his hybrids will too. The real battle has just begun." Outside, the stars were calm and distant, but Ryan knew the galaxy was far from safe. Somewhere out there, Marcus and his hybrids were waiting, watching and preparing, and humanity's survival hung by a fragile thread. Ryan swore silently. "We will be ready. We have to be." The escape pod floated silently through the cold void of space. Ryan Cole gripped the data drive tightly, his knuckles white. Arya Gray sat beside him, eyes scanning the distant stars. Mason and Kyle monitored the pod systems, their faces pale, tension stretching every muscle. Ryan's mind raced, replaying the last events over and over. The hybrid laboratory had been destroyed, but Marcus Hawley and his creations were still alive, and somewhere out there, the High Command was rebuilding, plotting, and waiting. He knew the danger had only grown. The shadows of the enemy were longer than they had imagined, deeper than any asteroid field or black hole. "Captain," Mason said, voice trembling, "sensors are detecting a fleet approaching. Unknown ships, heavily armed." Ryan's eyes narrowed. Could it be Marcus? Or more High Command reinforcements? Arya activated the pod's stealth systems. "They haven't seen us yet, but they're getting close. We need a plan." Ryan clenched his jaw. "We can't fight them head on. Not like this. We need leverage. Something to turn the tables." The pod slipped silently past massive alien warships, their hulls glowing with blue energy. Ryan realized they were approaching a secret rendezvous point in a distant asteroid field, a place Earth Command had discovered months ago. It was a perfect location for gathering intelligence without detection. He guided the pod carefully through the maze of rocks and shadows, each turn bringing them closer to safety. But Ryan could not shake the feeling that someone was watching them, that Marcus's shadow had reached even here. When they landed on a hidden asteroid base, Ryan and his team were greeted by Earth Command officers, their faces grim, eyes reflecting worry. "Captain Cole," one officer said, "the High Command is reorganizing. Marcus's hybrids are still alive, and intelligence shows he has captured a new human scientist. Someone key to their hybrid program." Ryan's heart sank. Who? The officer hesitated, then whispered, Dr. Celine Hart. She was working on genetic sequencing for Earth's defense systems. Arya's eyes widened. If he completes her work, the hybrids will be unstoppable, Ryan nodded. Then we strike before he finishes. But we need to know Marcus's location, or it's suicide, for days. The team scoured intercepted transmissions, satellite scans, and alien patrol routes. Every lead pointed to the outer sector of the Azirath Empire. A sector controlled directly by the High Commander. Ryan studied the maps. Realizing the impossible, the mission would require infiltration of the High Command itself. He swallowed hard. It's risky, but we have no choice. We must infiltrate their command center and rescue Celine, or humanity loses this war. The journey to the High Command was long and perilous. Their pod slipped past patrols and automated drones, but every jump carried the risk of discovery. Ryan felt the tension build with each passing hour. Even Arya, normally calm under pressure, moved with silent caution. Mason whispered, Captain, what if Marcus anticipated this? What if he set a trap? Ryan's jaw tightened. Then we survive it. Or we die knowing we fought for humanity. Finally, they reached the orbit of the Azirath flagship, the same vessel they had infiltrated months ago. But this time, it was fortified like a fortress. Drones patrolling every angle. Energy shields glowing. Ryan studied the defenses, whispering, We need a distraction. Something to draw their attention while we slip in. Arya nodded. I can create a false signal. Make it appear that a fleet is attacking another sector. It might buy us some time. Ryan smiled faintly. Do it, Arya. And we move while they are distracted. As the false signal ignited alarms across the Azirath fleet, the humans slipped into the flagship using a hidden maintenance shaft. The corridors were familiar yet changed, the energy pulsing through the ship more intense than before. Every corner could hide a hybrid. Every shadow could conceal Marcus himself. Ryan whispered, Stay close. Watch every shadow. The spy could be anywhere. Hours passed as they navigated through the alien fortress. They encountered patrols and security drones, dispatching them quickly and silently. Finally, they reached the containment area, a massive chamber filled with humans restrained in energy cages. And there, among the glowing restraints, was Dr. Celine Hart, her eyes wide with fear. Ryan felt a surge of determination. We get her out, no mistakes, no hesitation. But as they prepared to free her, the chamber doors slammed shut, the lights dimmed, and a figure appeared on the elevated catwalk. Marcus Hall stepped forward, his expression calm and terrifying. You have done well to come this far, Captain Cole, but you still do not understand the shadow of command. Ryan's eyes narrowed. Then explain, Marcus, before we end this. Marcus smiled faintly. The shadow of command is everywhere. Even now, spies, hybrids, and loyalists watch your every move. You cannot escape it, and you cannot win without understanding it. Suddenly, the shadows in the chamber shifted, and hybrids emerged from hidden compartments. Ryan realized with horror. Marcus had created an entire army of invisible, undetectable hybrids, blending perfectly into the environment. Arya fired, striking one hybrid, only for it to vanish into darkness. The team fought desperately. Energy bolts and blaster fire filling the chamber. Ryan reached Celine, cutting her restraints quickly, whispering, We're getting you out. Stay with us. As they retreated through the corridors, Marcus's voice echoed through the ship. The shadow of command sees all, anticipates all. You cannot hide, Captain. And even if you survive, the war is not yours to win. Ryan clenched his fists. Then we fight anyway, for humanity, for Earth, for every life you have taken. They sprinted toward the escape pods, hybrids swarming behind them, the ship shaking with alarms. Arya guided the pod into space, Ryan and Celine on board, Mason and Kyle providing cover fire. As the flagship's defenses erupted in chaos from the virus Mason had uploaded weeks ago, the team escaped into the void. Ryan looked at Celine, determination in his eyes. The mission was not over. Marcus and his hybrids still lurked in the galaxy, and the shadow of command would follow them relentlessly. But humanity had survived another day, and Ryan knew they would fight again. No matter the cost, no matter the enemy, the human team drifted through the void. Their escape pod battered and scarred from previous battles. Ryan Cole held the data drive tightly, its glow reflecting determination in his eyes. Arya Gray piloted the pod silently, every sensor active, every shadow watched. Mason and Kyle readied weapons, their muscles tense. Knowing the danger was far from over, Earth Command had decrypted portions of the High Command files. The message was clear. Marcus Hawley had rallied his hybrids, gathering them in a hidden sector near the galactic core, and worse. Intelligence suggested the High Commander himself was aboard, orchestrating the final strike against humanity. Ryan swallowed hard. This is it, Arya, the final battle. The fight for humanity begins now. Arya nodded. Then we make every shot count. Every decision matters. They approached the dense asteroid field, concealing Marcus's stronghold. The shadow of the enemy fleet loomed ahead, massive warships bristling with energy cannons. Hybrid scouts zipped between the rocks, silent, deadly, perfectly adapted to the environment. Ryan whispered, "We have to infiltrate from below. Stealth is our only chance. Otherwise, we're finished before the fight even begins." The team deployed mini-shuttles, slipping past patrols and cloaked defense satellites. Every pulse of the enemy sensors was a threat. Ryan guided them carefully, heart pounding with every maneuver. The entrance to Marcus's fortress emerged like a black scar against the stars. The humans docked silently, entering the alien structure through maintenance shafts. Inside, the corridors were a maze of energy barriers. Flickering lights and alien symbols, the air vibrated with latent power. Humming like the heartbeat of a giant, Ryan whispered, "Stay together. Watch every corner. This is the heart of the enemy, where Marcus commands his army." They moved swiftly, disabling patrols and traps silently. The shadows their only ally. Finally, they reached the central chamber, a massive dome filled with glowing consoles and holographic maps. And there, at the center, stood Marcus Hawley, calm, composed, and terrifying. Beside him were dozens of hybrids. Humans and Xerath fused perfectly, waiting silently. The High Commander observed from a holographic projection, his silver eyes glowing like molten steel. Ryan's stomach twisted. Realizing the magnitude of the battle ahead, Marcus spoke. "So, you survived everything, Captain, and yet you still come to face me. Do you think you can stop evolution itself?" Ryan stepped forward, eyes burning with determination. "We stop you, Marcus. Not evolution, not life. But your tyranny, the hybrids end here, and humanity survives." The battle erupted instantly. Chaos consuming the chamber, hybrids lunged at the humans. Their strength and speed terrifying, Arya fired relentlessly, energy bolts sparking against reinforced alien armor. Mason planted explosives at key points, creating chaos among the hybrids. Kyle freed restrained humans who joined the fight, turning the tide with courage and desperation. Ryan faced Marcus directly, their weapons clashing, energy arcs leaping with every strike. Marcus laughed. "You are strong, Ryan, stronger than I expected." "But strength without control is nothing," Ryan countered. "And I'll win with willpower, with heart, with humanity." Their battle shook the chamber. Consoles exploding, holograms flickering, systems failing under the chaos. Suddenly, A spy from previous encounters emerged. A hybrid more terrifying than any before. It lunged at Ryan from the shadows. Moving faster than human eyes could track, Arya intervened, striking the hybrid with precise energy blasts, but it adapted instantly. Mason and Kyle joined the fray, combining their efforts, the room alive with flashes of light and roars of hybrids. Ryan saw an opening, charging at Marcus while the chaos unfolded. He tackled him toward the central console, wrestling control over the systems. Marcus struggled, whispering, "Even if I fall, the shadow of command lives, it watches." "It waits," Ryan ignored him, focusing on the data drive. Inputting the final command, the virus Mason had planted surged through the high command systems, shutting down hybrids and disrupting communications. The hybrids froze mid-attack, their glowing eyes flickering. Confusion spreading among them, the High Commander's hologram flickered violently, then vanished, leaving the room eerily silent. Marcus stumbled back, realization dawning. No, this cannot be. Ryan held him firmly. "It's over, Marcus. Your tyranny ends today." Outside the fortress, the team's mini-shuttles launched, carrying them and the freed humans into open space. The fortress shook violently as the virus destabilized its core, energy surges tearing it apart. Ryan watched, breath heavy. As explosions consumed the High Command stronghold, Arya piloted them through the chaos, Mason and Kyle covering their retreat as the debris field cleared. Ryan looked at his team, battered but alive. He knew the war was not entirely over. Marcus might have survived. There could be hybrids still in hiding, but for now, humanity had survived. And the High Command's power was broken. Celine Hart, now safe, joined Ryan and Arya, her knowledge crucial to rebuild and defend humanity. Ryan gazed at the stars, determination burning in his eyes. "We fought impossible odds. We survived betrayal, hybrid armies. And the shadow of command, humanity is still standing. And we will make sure it remains free." Arya placed a hand on his shoulder, smiling faintly. "And we will be ready for whatever comes next," Ryan nodded. "Because humanity fights. And humanity never quits." The final battle had ended, but the galaxy remained vast, full of shadows and secrets. And Ryan Cole knew that as long as they stood together, no force, alien, hybrid, or traitor could extinguish the spark of humanity.